and it is about Bohemian Rhapsody. So Page Six is reporting that the director of dozens of Queen music videos says that the band and its management are lining up behind a sequel to Bohemian Rhapsody. Here is what Rudy Dolezal told Page Six. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. I'm sure he plans a sequel that starts with Live Aid. He added that the follow-up film is now being heavily discussed in the Queen family. Of course, if you have seen if you haven't seen Bohemian Rhapsody, spoiler alert, I guess, the movie ends with the Live Aid performance, which is around the time that this director began working with Queen, and he basically did about 30 videos for them, and it ended with Freddie Mercury's final video shoot for These Are the Days of Our Lives in 1991. Page Six did note that a pal of Rami Malek's told them that they hadn't heard of any talk about a new film, and a rep for Queen's record label told them that they also have not heard about any sequel. Hey, Jeff, have you heard about a sequel?
Wow, what a stupid story. And shame on all the film blogs who can now get away with this as long as some outlet like the New York Post, LOL, says there's a sequel to Bohemian Rhapsody. They go, is there a sequel to Bohemian Rhapsody? And then they wax ecstatic about whether that would be a good idea or not. And then 2 hours later, when someone actually takes the time to reach out to Graham King and ask, then they get to write a second story being like, update, it's not actually happening. Like, and they get all the traffic from this, and it's so stupid. Who in their right mind is picking up stories, okay, from Page Six, first of all, from who talked to a guy who directed music videos for Queen? When was the last time you guys saw a music video from Queen? This is a guy who worked for them from 25 years ago or something. I mean, someone asked Rami Malek's friends, why don't you just ask the guy who pumped Rami Malek's gas this morning? Like, it's so stupid. I cannot get over it. Would I be shocked if Fox actually did find a way to make some sequel to the highest grossing drama of all time? It actually wouldn't shock me. But, you know, as we discussed before the show, Riley, there's never been, an actor has never, I guess, done a sequel to an Oscar-winning performance since Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs. Right. Although, you know, Michael Douglas also did it for Wall Street. So, you know, Anthony Hopkins returned as Hannibal, Michael Douglas back as Wall Street. How did that work out for either of them?
Well, yeah, not very well. I mean, you know, quality, critics, box office, you can put it all in.
We think Hannibal's okay, right?
Hannibal's pretty good. That's one I can get behind.
Yeah, Wall Street 2.
Yeah, Wall Street 2 was
ill-advised.
Yeah, this just reeks of just not true. Just like to put it out there because Bohemian Rhapsody, and we talked a little bit. We heard about this. We touched on it during Twitter yesterday. I don't buy it. I just don't buy it right now because there's so much behind. I know this movie made a ton of money, and I know Rami Malek deservingly won the Oscar, but don't we want to put that a little bit behind us right now and let things settle down? But money talks, so I can understand that it might be some of the Queen people behind it. But where are the producers and where's Rami Malek? That's what you need to talk about.
Rami Malek and Freddie Mercury are ostensibly dead, right? So it's like, what is this movie about? Adam Lambert coming in to join the band?
No, but this is what I talked about that they'll never do, which is what I was missing from Bohemian Rhapsody, was more about Freddie Mercury and his private life and what happened. Go deeper there. It was more about the band, and I get that. So the only thing I would want from this alleged sequel is to go deeper into his struggle with AIDS and losing him. And that's what would be interesting to me. What was his personal life? What was there? They only scratched the surface there just a smidge. So I would want to see a deeper dive on that character. But I think they would never touch it.
I feel like every AIDS movie is about that, though.
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
I just think it's so crazy that people extrapolate these things from like a Brian May interview where he says Live Aid's a good point to leave it. Who knows? There might be a sequel, and people like take that to to mean, oh, there's a sequel in the works. Like, wow. Who is making sequels to Bryan Singer movies?
Well, running those stories like that without substantiating the claims is a little ridiculous. But, you know, a lot of the times that we talk about these types of things, they're quotes that come from interviews where, you know, to be frank, people are talking casually to a degree, and they aren't necessarily completely media trained to say exactly what they're supposed to adhere to what is truly being developed. And I even saw a specific tweet this morning from one outlet that said something about someone's upcoming project, and I saw that individual, that writer-director, quote tweet it just to flesh it out. Like, I was talking casually about this, and this is what I really meant. I'm not taking back what I said kind of thing, but I just wanted to put your focus on the specific thing that you should be focusing on, and I quite respect that, but this is crazy to me. And I get what you were saying about, you know, I wouldn't be so surprised if this happened because we're in the middle of a business that's so focused on dollars and cents, and this was a hugely successful movie. But in this particular case, the only way I would ever see and believe a Bohemian Rhapsody sequel to happen is if, one, it didn't include Rami Malek, and they basically just went with the other band members. But in that case, you almost take out the major financial draw. I don't think Rami Malek would want to run the risk of, like, of tarnishing that Oscar. He's on to other things now with Bond. But then, on top of that, can you imagine how much money he could demand to come back? I would be shocked if any of them signed any kind of deal for multiple movies. There is close to no possible way in my mind that this project would work out.
The major financial reason to do a movie, it's not like Rami Malek was the draw for this movie. It was the music of Queen. And guess what? We heard it all in the first movie. What songs are left for the sequel?
The second time around, though, after he's got an Oscar in his hand and basically led, he was like the face of the entire campaign, though. That would be the draw, I think, for number two. I think basically a Bohemian Rhapsody 2 with Rami Malek involved in some capacity would make like that much money, whereas a movie without him is not nearly as financially successful.
It is irresponsible for the media to report on these kinds of stories, and kudos to whoever actually took the time to reach out to Graham King.